Street crosswalk. They cross at 16th where there's no crosswalk. So who is responsible for that safety issue, and who will be responsible for paying the construction of that to protect the residents who are crossing that street? I think it's the city. I mean, I could be wrong, but I really feel like, you know, there are charges to protect the dunes, protect the environment, and I feel like this community, New Smyrna Beach, needs to take a role in that. And don't leave these decisions up to the county, who aren't a part of our community, who don't want to keep the small town feel in our community. And so we are asking you to become involved, to reach out to the county and you know, really understand what their proposals are, how they're going to affect our community, and how we can really work to preserve what's so special about New Smyrna Beach and what we love about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ken Parker, and my wife and I own the homes at 2507 and 2509 Hill Street. Sorry to hijack your budget agenda, but we're in town for this meeting. So I'm sure all of you have heard some of the discussions because we have been in touch with Mr. Sachs and Mr. Koldy, but I would urge you to go listen to the June 4th meeting relating to this parking project. And I think you're going to be shocked at the lack of detail and the scope used to come up with this design. And it appears to me they have absolutely no regard for safety, additional maintenance that's going to be required of the city on Hill Street there, for the environment and where we're at. And candidly, the fact that our own county commissioner is one of the ones spearheading this project is beyond me. The very area she's supposed to represent, she's the one that's driving this home. I think if you do listen to that, you'll hear Ms. Denny's and Mr. Kelly specifically make comments to build parking wherever they possibly can, and the only place they can is on those approaches. I would ask the city, I don't understand how that land and management was conveyed to the county, but if you can go back and determine if there's any way to at least inject yourself in the discussion, I would ask you to do so, because a paved parking lot is just an overdevelopment of that 50 by 150 foot spot for 10 spots. It's $600,000. I mean, it's a bad use of capital. It's a bad plan. We understand maybe there's a parking issue, but there's got to be some way that the city and the county can talk and come up with some better solution than taking the east side of Hill Street at every avenue. And so I would just leave with, I think it's very important that you have somebody on staff that's staying connected to their agenda. I don't know if you recall last year when the initial meeting for the drive-on ramp was on the agenda. There was a 2-sentence comment in the Daytona paper about that ramp. And when the word hit the street, things went a little crazy, I think everybody knows. For the June meeting, my wife and I tried to communicate with county, no communication. We had to hire an attorney and spend thousands of dollars just to get them to communicate to us and tell us there was going to be a June 4th meeting. So they don't want to communicate about it. So I would just ask you to pay attention to their agendas, because it's they seem to be on their own path. It's not good for the city. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. So just to share on that, we do have, that was brought up at our last commission meeting. Commissioner Sachs Koldy brought it up, and Colin and I do have a meeting set up with our representative of the county to talk through this issue among others. I do think we staff and our county rep do a good job of communicating on issues that may impact the area. That doesn't mean we always, that the vote at the county level goes exactly how we may want it to. But I do think we are in the loop on those issues. We do see them coming. We try to keep the public as informed as we can. We try to be as engaged as we can. I'll tell you that it's difficult sometimes because that's a different governing body, so they very much can they have the dynamics that they have. And so, we typically advocate to them usually on an individual basis rather than kind of as a governing body, but that's something we're also talking through of how do we get to a position as a city to relay that to the county. So work in progress there, but on this particular issue, you do have a couple of commissioners advocating on your behalf, and city manager and I are meeting with our representatives to talk through this and other items. So,
Mr. Mayor, may I make a quick recommendation regarding this item?
if it's not too long, I don't want to hijack
No,
your whole
it won't.
budget meeting. Real
I
quick.
certainly don't want to. Since these are my constituents, I'm very familiar with this zone and the rest of the constituents in the avenues that are adjacent. I would like to be at this meeting. If you wish, I do not need to make comments, but I think it's essential that I be there.
Yeah, so the challenge with that, and again, this is something that's frustrating. I'd love to have you there, but we got to pick one of us to be there because we can't both be there because then it's a violation of sunshine. Even if you're not making comments, at that point we'd have to open the whole thing up with public, et cetera. And so I think I'd like to keep this meeting directly with Colin and Deb. If you want to separately meet with them, I know Mike did. I know Deb is very engaged and willing to meet with us individually as well. So I encourage you to do that. But unfortunately,
No, that's fair enough. Good point.
Not that I'm trying to cut you out. You know that it's a sunshine thing. That the attorney would have both of us. So we can't do that.
That's very good. If we could share information, that would help.
I absolutely will give you a summary of the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, very briefly.
We're okay. Very briefly.
I do think the other commissioners, and yourself if you haven't, should look at that meeting, that county meeting. That vote was 4-3. 3 other commissioners voted no because they were concerned about the environment and what it was doing. So it's an important issue. I wish you well in your meeting, and I think we should open up a continuing dialogue. Thank you.
Okay. Any other, still in public participation, any other members of the public wish to speak? Is it about school or is it about budget, Joe?
Pardon?
Is it about school buses or is it about budget?
Everything. I can't hear. I need my hearing aid.
Come on up.
Am I allowed to go?
You are. Go ahead. Go ahead. You got your 3 minutes.
Joe Vada, 1401 Palmetto Street, and you all know how long I've been here. And how many times I've been here. I want to go back to the 15 to 17-ton school buses that were supposed to be downsized. Yesterday they were practicing their routes, and there was no small buses. You may have said something here previously, but I didn't hear nothing about it. But they was practicing. I met one head-on Live Oak Street. It was over, I don't mean I met it, but it was coming at me, and it was over in half of my lane that I was driving in because it had to make a turn. So it made its turn eventually, but it had to run over the corner of the grass.
I think Kyla has an update for you.
Right after I saw the pictures that you emailed us previously,
What's that?
Not my time.
That's right. Hey, all right, go ahead.
I got more to say.
Okay.
Joe, after we saw the email that you sent with the pictures, I emailed the county again. They are using a smaller buses and they're using the pickup route from 5th Street. So that's what they told me in an email. But I did send them an email after I saw your pictures.
Okay. Yesterday I seen the bigger buses practicing.
Maybe they're just practicing, but I know that they are reducing the buses, the sizes of the buses.
Okay. What I wanted to say about the buses, once upon a time, late 80s, early 90s, they used Canal Street as a cut-through. And they had a bus that make a turn and hit a resident in the crosswalk, killed a man. He went to hospital for a couple of days, but he died. That's because they were using a cut-through, these big mirrors sticking out on the side. I'm just pointing out this danger of these buses on these little narrow roads. Not only are they breaking down the edges of the road, cracking the road, they all need repaving just about down that area. You don't want to hear that, but anyway.
The budget.
They're just way too large, and they have no one to drop off. I've checked on their site. They don't have any bus pickup or drop-offs in that area at all, but yet they wander through it every day. Even after school hours, there'll be one float down through Live Oak and down 6th Street to get to US 1. They use Douglas Street constantly, and there's nobody in that area, no bus stops or no either pick-up or drop-offs that I can find on their site.
Yeah.
They've got them all listed for all the cities and schools and everything.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I hope they go with the smaller buses, and I hope they do their traffic thing. But 4 years ago, they said they weren't going to do it because of one reason or another, and I don't really expect they'll come across with it now. I think they'll have some kind of an excuse. That's the normal procedure.
Okay.
So I'll leave you until
right.
part 6, but I've got a part 6.
Okay. Joe, I'm just curious. You know you're welcome here anytime. We love you. But do you also attend the school board meetings? Because that's the people that can actually make this happen right there.
No,
We can lobby them, but we're just going to them. Like
Right.
we have no
I'm
power
hoping
over
you'll-
that.
I'm hoping you'll do it for me because I would have no voice there at all, hardly.
No, you have you get the same. You get to stand up and speak, and you can. Yeah.
I went to their special meeting down at Reed Patillo a year ago this month,
Yeah.
and they took the microphone away from me. And I didn't have 3 minutes. I only had about 30 seconds.
All right.
The chief does the same thing to me. He cuts me off about 20 seconds. He says, "We're done here. We're done here." That's what he does to me.
All right. All right. Now I'm doing it too. All right. Thanks, Joe.
Okay, but I'll be back for part 6.
All right. We got you.
Thank you.
Any other members of the public? No. All right, closing public participation. First item up, item 3A, resolution number 35-19, adoption of a resolution which would authorize the stormwater assessment of $7.67 per month or $92 annually to be added as part of the trim notice. City Attorney, read the resolution by title only.
Resolution 3519, a resolution of the City of New Smyrna Beach, Florida, setting the proposed stormwater utility fee at $7.67 monthly or $92 annually per equivalent drainage unit, establishing the equivalent drainage unit for non-residential and multifamily properties, providing for conflicting resolutions, and providing an effective date.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve resolution 35-19?
So move.
Second.
City Clerk, if you'd call the roll, please.
Commissioner Koldy,
Yes.
Commissioner Sachs.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hartman.
Yes.
Commissioner McGurik.
Yes.
Mayor Owen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 3719, resolution will authorize the New Smyrna operating maximum millage to be advertised as part of the 2019 trim notice. Do we need to put in the actual amount into this resolution?
It's contained in the body of the resolution,
Okay, got it. And that's based on his presentation earlier. Okay,
3.8416.
got it.
Resolution number 3719, a resolution of the City of New Smyrna Beach, Florida, establishing a proposed fiscal year 2019-2020 general fund maximum millage rate, providing for public hearing dates for budget adoption, providing for conflicting resolutions, and providing for an effective date.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 37-19?
So moved.
Second.
City Clerk, if you would call the roll, please.
Commissioner Sachs.
No.
Vice Mayor Hartman.
Yes.
Commissioner McGurik.
Yes.
Commissioner Koldy.
No.
Mayor Owen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. To be clear, to follow up on my earlier comments, I'm voting yes to this, but we're going to work on that millage. I have no intentions of that being the final thing. Resolution 38-19, authorize New Smyrna INS 2005 maximum millage to be advertised as part of the trim notice. City Attorney.
Resolution number 3819, a resolution of the City of New Smyrna Beach, Florida, establishing a proposed fiscal year 2019-2020 INS 2005 debt service maximum millage rate, providing for conflicting resolutions, and providing for an effective date. And the body of it, it says .2981 mils.
All right. Is there a motion to approve resolution 38-19 as read?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
City Clerk.
Vice Mayor Hartman.
Yes.
Commissioner McGurik.
Yes.
Commissioner Koldy.
Yes.
Commissioner Sachs.
Yes.
Mayor Owen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 3819 is adopted. Resolution 3919 is your adoption of a resolution would authorize New Smyrna INS 2018 maximum millage to be advertised as part of the 2019 trim notice.
Resolution number 3919, a resolution of the City of New Smyrna Beach, Florida, establishing a proposed fiscal year 2019-2020 INS 2018 debt service maximum millage rate, providing for conflicting resolutions, and providing for an effective date. And this one is .1800 mils.
And that's based on the 9.5 million and some maximum interest rate that we think will come in under.
That's correct.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve resolution 3919?
I guess we're the only ones making motions, Randy.
He's not
So
going to do
moved.
this one because he wants it to be 15 million.
I will second that.
City Clerk.
Commissioner McGuirk?
Yes.
Commissioner Kolody?
Yes.
Commissioner Sachs?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hartman?
No.
Mayor Owen?
Yes. Resolution 39-19 is adopted. All right, item 4A. Gentlemen, we got just one other item, then I have two things I just need to bounce off of y'all real quick while I got you. Item A, designate a member of the City Commission to serve as voting delegate at the 93rd Annual Florida League of Cities Conference, August 15th to 17th. Is there a nomination for a voting delegate?
Who hasn't done that yet?
Now, that's not the way to approach it. I go with experience, and I would nominate Commissioner Hartman, Vice Mayor.
Vice Mayor, you going to be there the whole time and available for?
Probably not. I have to leave early.
Yeah, I may be in and out, just full disclosure. I got some work stuff to balance, so I'd hate to miss some critical votes, so.
I'd nominate Commissioner Kolody.
Are you going to be there though?
I also do not know if I can stay there through to the end. That's my concern.
I'll nominate Commissioner, how about Commissioner Sachs?
To be honest, I'll be arriving late and leaving early.
Are you there the
So
whole time?
I'll have to pass this
I
year.
will be now. I'll do it. I'll nominate myself.
Are you going to wait on me?
I'll second.
You're a good man, Jason.
Okay. Can he self-nominate? I think we call it into question. All right. I'll nominate Commissioner McGurik, just to make sure we're clear.
And I will second.
Commissioner Kolody, second to that. City Clerk, if you'd call the roll, please.
Commissioner Kolody?
Yes.
Commissioner Sachs? Vice Mayor Hartman?
Yes.
Commissioner McGuirk?
Yes, I want
Mayor Owen?
Yes.
a
Go ahead.
comment to make.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to go ahead and stress the importance of attending these meetings. We do have a breakfast that is usually Saturday mornings. The league goes through a lot of effort, and although they seem mundane and repetitive when we go to these conferences, the conferences are really our time. It's our time to develop and network and build relationships with our peers throughout our areas, certainly in the Florida League of Cities, throughout the entire state. What we do at this breakfast is we have a tri-city area. And again, I just want to stress the importance of attending the dinners quarterly and attending the conference and attending the breakfast when possible. But if you cannot make the breakfast, please don't RSVP it because we will then be billed for you not attending. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate you letting me get those comments out.
No, it's good. I think one example of that, relationships that were built by those on the dais before, actually this one was Commissioner McGuirk, though, that paid off for us, was the Turnbull Bay Bridge. Deltona had a voting member on the, that had more voting power than we did, more weighted vote than we did, and they put a project behind that project based on the relationship of our county council representative and Commissioner McGuirk reaching out and explaining the importance of that project. So I think your point is well made. Two items I just wanted to cover real quick. Won't take a lot of time. On the 20th, we have a workshop. It's the all-day workshop, and we had not contemplated having the live stream on that workshop. When I say contemplated, it wasn't built into the arrangement and the budget. I don't know the exact additional cost. There will be some small additional cost for the captioning. All the other stuff is covered. Just want to make sure that we're all okay. My preference would be we live stream that. I don't know how many people will watch a whole day thing, but in the effort of full transparency, it'll be out there if anybody ever does. I want to make sure there's no concerns with doing that.
No.
Okay. So that's the consensus is that we will live stream or make that live stream available. Hopefully the power holds up. And then the second thing was just, and I don't want to hijack this meeting, but I talked to Khalid about having staff working towards a we've talked a lot about parking on Flagler, parking in that general area, and Khalid and I had a great discussion on kind of a whole analysis, a total analysis of that, and looking at some different options, but not just talking about them, but actually going through and spending a little time to say, if we wanted to do X, Y, or Z, here is where we might do it. Here's some rough cost. So there's a little bit of time investment from staff. I think it would be time well spent. We could then come back in conjunction with the study data that we're about to get back that Commissioner Koldy has been working towards. I think we could pull all of that together and say, here's a plan, and then we have something to operate from and say, well, yeah, we like option A, but let's take a little of this. And the 4 main areas we're going to talk about was kind of the ones that are always tossed around. It's, the street parking, it's parking garages, it's, land lot parking, those types of things. Just getting that ball rolling, putting some solutions on the table, and so any heartburn with having staff spend some time on that, getting it ready for some time. I forget what we talked about, Kyle. It's sometime in September, we're thinking.
September, October.
Yeah. Any concerns on that? You all are welcome to talk with staff, give your ideas and input on that project as it goes along.
Yeah, I have, I've already talked, and as long as Flagler is completed, that will be a good base to continue,
Yeah.
once Flagler is complete.
Yeah, that study. Yes, agreed. That was what we talked about.
Yeah, I think also electronic message boarding and integration.
All those
Gotta
things.
go together.
There's so many ideas that have been tossed out there, but I've never seen one document that kind of puts it all out there and has dollars and cents and timelines and business cases, et cetera. So,
Mayor, if I could add briefly.
Sure.
Many residents have expressed the desire to somehow get a hold of the trucking and delivery problem, if that could be inserted in that conversation somehow.
this is one of the things.
That's one of the items will be in the study.
Yep.
And it'd be open to the public?
The meetings. So I think this will be kind of the kickoff. My goal would be to have staff bring some, hey, here's some options, and then that starts there's a little bit of chicken egg thing. I'll tell you, we dealt with this with the morning field, where if you go out and you just say, hey, we're thinking about this, and then people ask questions, we don't have answers yet. Because we're just tossing it out there. We're just getting ideas. So I'm saying we go and do a little research so that we have some answers to those questions, so we can say, here's what we think are some viable options. But yeah, absolutely it would be public engagement at a certain point, but not between now and September probably.
Since you brought it up,
All right.
who owns the parking spaces over across the street on Julia?
Right here,
Yeah.
we do.
Do they have a right-of-way usage agreement with the contractor over there?
I'm not sure, but we'll look into it for you.
I mean, they've had trusses and building materials stacked there over a month.
Yeah.
So we're losing 4 or 5 parking places.
But they are absolutely our parking spaces because they're in the right of way. So we'll double check on that.
We need to check on it.
Mayor?
Yes.
Just one item. The term bill project generates a lot of discussion here. However, in 9 months, we really haven't moved past the original purchase. I know Commissioner Hartman's very concerned. I put forth a work plan so we can organize the thing, and it will be on the agenda in August. And I intend to, it's been distributed to the Turnbull Committee, who's a little concerned about what we're doing.
Yep.
So hopefully we can get that all back on track.
I think
Spend that money.
They meet they meet before we do, I think.
One day, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
One day before we do, yeah. All right.
Thank
Did
you.
I miss anything you wanted to go over? Colin, are you good? Carrie, good? All right. If no other business, meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Commissioner McGurik.